Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name's Callie and I make videos related to modest fashion, makeup, skincare, lifestyle, every Friday with the occasional bonus video on Tuesday here on this channel. So if those types of videos interest you, then please hit the subscribe button down below and please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy it. Today I'm going to be talking about a slightly controversial subject, but it is a question that I get asked a lot in my everyday life and on my YouTube channel, so I wanted to make an entire video addressing the subject on why I dress modestly. So I do want to start off with a couple of disclaimers. First off, I'm not saying that the way I dress is the definition of modesty. This is just what I interpret from the Bible on how I think that I personally should dress. I'm not saying that everybody should dress that way. And another disclaimer that I would like to make is that if you don't dress modestly, I am not bashing on you. There's nothing against you. I'm just explaining why I choose to dress modestly because it is a question that gets asked so frequently. Go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section telling me why you dress the way you do, whether you dress modestly or not. I have no problem with open, honest conversations from either side of the spectrum, as long as nobody is being hateful or mean to each other. Alright, so now diving into the subject. I have been wearing skirts and dresses exclusively for as long as I can remember. It was never anything like I grew up wearing pants and shorts or anything like that. It was never a problem when I was a little kid or whatever. Of course, there was things like I went through a whole phase where I only wanted to wear turtlenecks. My mom had gone and got me all turtlenecks because it was wintertime, and then 2 weeks later I hated turtlenecks and it was like, they're choking me, I hate them. Yeah. So, I had little kid things like that. Things like, oh, that sweater's itchy, I don't want to wear it. But it was never anything about skirts and dresses. It was always just, things like color preferences. Oh, I want turtlenecks, I don't. Things like that. But then as I got, a little bit older, around 3 or so, we would go to the store, we'd go to the park, go to the library, and I would see girls in shorts and pants. I'd be like, hey, why does that other mommy have pants on? And my mom explained to me as best as you can explain to a small child who doesn't completely understand. But we wear skirts and dresses. Not everybody does, but we personally do because we want to, because our bodies are holy and our bodies are God's and we're trying to live for God. And, I didn't really understand when I was younger, but as I got older, I wanted to establish for myself, why am I dressing this way? I'm dressing this way every day. I'm going out of my way to find skirts and dresses and things with high necklines and stuff like that. Why do I dress this way? I want to get in the Bible and I want to find out what I believe about modesty. Because yes, I do still live in my parents' house, but I'm about to be a senior. And actually, I don't know when this video goes up. By the time this video goes up, I will probably already be a senior. And when I move out, I'm not going to be dressing, how my parents tell me to. I'm going to be dressing how I think, with what I think is right. So I wanted to get in the Bible and kind of find out what I believed about clothing, modesty, all of that. So first, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys my personal standards. I wear skirts and dresses exclusively that are knee length. I don't wear form-fitting skirts and dresses. If they're a little bit form-fitting, okay, but overall, I do not wear form-fitting ones. And then my necklines, they go 4 fingers below the collarbone. Wear sleeveless tops and dresses. Personally, I don't feel like there's anything immodest about it. And then I just wear ones that are 3 fingers thick, so about a strap that big. I think that's, I still feel completely modest in that. I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys a verse telling you why I wear skirts and dresses exclusively. This verse is in Deuteronomy 22:5, and it says, "The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God." So some people say, okay, well, they make women's pants, they make women's shorts, that's fine. But originally skirts and dresses were for women and pants were for men. So that is why I personally choose to wear skirts and dresses only. I could see where somebody may interpret that differently. And like I said, people have different opinions, people have different convictions, and I'm not God, I'm not the Holy Spirit. Overall, it's not up to me how anybody else dresses. It's only up to me what I choose to do. So personally, I think that I should wear skirts and dresses exclusively. And now I'm going to read you a verse telling you why I wear them knee length and why I don't wear them short. Exodus 28:42 says, "And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness. From their loins, even unto the thighs, they shall reach. So the Bible is calling your thighs nakedness. Personally, I would say fingertip length up is your thigh, but I can see where if you say, okay, I'm going to wear stuff that goes fingertip length, it's a very slippery slope and it's easy to let it go shorter and shorter. So that's why I just choose to stick with knee length personally. I think one thing that is important to remember though, modesty is not about what we look like on the outside. What's more important than what's on our outside is we need to be focusing on what's on the inside. We need to be focusing on how we treat people, our walk with God. That is much more important than what people see on the outside. I think it's nice if you choose to dress modestly, but what you're like on the inside is much, much, much more important. Just because you dress modestly, that doesn't mean that you're a good person to be around. Even if you are a Christian, it doesn't mean you're a good person to be around if you treat people badly, and it's just much more important to focus on what is on our inside. And I'm going to read you guys a couple verses about that in the Bible. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Humans, we tend to look at somebody and judge them based on their outward appearance, but God is more interested in what's in our heart. So that needs to be our first and foremost priority, is making sure our heart is right. 1 Peter 3, verses 3 and 4 says, Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing gold or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price. But I think once again, it is stating, it's great, it's all fine and dandy to look nice, but once again, that is not the most important thing, and as Christians, we need to remember that. Proverbs 31:30 also says, Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. 1 Timothy 2:9-10 says, In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. All of these verses are just reinstating that our outward appearance is kind of the cherry on top. I'm pretty sure God is more interested about the whole ice cream sundae than he is about the cherry on top. The cherry on top is great, it's awesome, but, the whole ice cream sundae, with being good people, being kind, being, stuff like that, that's much more important. I don't dress modestly so that guys aren't tempted. 1 John 2, verse 16 says, For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. But lustfulness is not from God. That's from, lustfulness is worldly. And I think that addresses men and women, that we shouldn't be, lusting after people all the time. And that is addressing men and women. This next verse, though, Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 and 28, says, Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery. But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. So in Matthew, that is specifically addressing men, telling them not to lust after women. I think it's important that we help our Christian family in whatever ways we can, just because, that's just being a good person. But in Matthew, it is specifically addressing men, telling them that they should not be lusting after women, because that's the same as committing adultery in God's eyes. So I do not dress modestly to make sure that guys aren't tempted or having impure thoughts or anything like that. Here's the spectrum for lustfulness. Over here, you've got a guy who's just, every now and again he'll think something, that he shouldn't. He's like, oh, Lord, I'm sorry, I shouldn't think that. And then over here, you've got the guy who's like, got filthy thoughts running through his mind all the time. Okay, here's the thing. If I'm obeying God, it might help the guy who's over here who occasionally has a thought he shouldn't about a girl or something like that. Okay, that might help him. And the way I see that is, okay, cool. If my obedience to God helps out, the guy over here, good. I'm glad. But I'm not striving to wear, long skirts and dresses and things that aren't form-fitting for the guy over here, because, even if you look in Middle Eastern countries, women who only are showing their eyes are still getting, sexually assaulted. So it's not about, I feel like it's not about that. There are some churches that would teach that, but I personally do not agree with that. I think, like I said before, if my obedience to God can help, the guy over here with a thought every now and again that he shouldn't have, then great, okay, cool. But my obedience to God, I'm almost 99% sure, is not really helping the guy over here. It's just not. So I'm not focused on what they're doing. I am focused on myself and my obedience. The last reason that I dress modestly is just because I think it is overall classy. It makes you look more mature. It makes you look professional. It makes you look like you've got a good head on your shoulders. And I'm not saying to anybody out there who does not dress modestly, I'm not saying that if you don't dress, modestly, you don't have a good head on your shoulders. You're not professional. You're not mature. That's not what I'm saying. But overall, you have to remember, the Bible even says that, God judges the heart, but man looks on the outward appearance. And people judge by the first impression. Whether we mean to or not, everybody does. Which I'm not saying is right, but I'm saying as far as first impressions go, when you do dress modestly, you are perceived as more responsible, as more capable, things like that. And I do enjoy, I think those are some really great perks of dressing modestly. And I did want to read in the Bible where it talks about, not necessarily classiness, but where it talks about verses that I perceive to kind of go along with, dressing modestly is a classy thing. And 1 Corinthians 12:23 also says, "And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness." It's talking about how there are parts of our bodies not necessarily deemed appropriate for, just being out in the street showing things. They need to be covered up. And that, I'm not even talking about like shoulders or like a midriff. I'm just talking about other parts. Yeah, I just think overall it's a very classy thing, When I think of modesty or dressing modestly, one woman that comes to mind is Kate Middleton. Ever since I was a little girl, I always saw her and was like, wow, she's like a real life princess. She's so elegant, she's so pretty. And really the things she wears are they're very conservative things, but she looks beautiful overall. And I think overall, I am dressing modestly because I want to honor God with my life, with every aspect of my life. And like I said before, I feel like the way I dress is just kind of the cherry on top, and I want to be able to do the cherry on top. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Once again, don't forget to comment down below explaining why you personally dress the way you do, and I will see you guys all next week.